Welcome to another Optimum community call. Technical hitches in Discord, classic, but we get through them. Well, this is my first Optimum community call, but it's you guys' second. Some of you may be your first time, and we've got a lot to go through. Since the last community call, a lot has happened, a lot has changed, including me being here and Swana being here. And we're going to go through a lot. The team has so many developments, there's been so many events we've been to and exciting stuff, but we'll get to that. Firstly, I'd like to just introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, I am Jeff. Some people call me Blockchain Jeff on Twitter. And I am the new community lead here at Optimum. Some of you may have seen me in the server already, just buzzing around, having little conversations with you guys and getting to know you a little better. You might have seen the announcement from when I joined with my face superimposed onto Stone Cold Steve Austin. You probably saw that. But I'm here to be you guys' voice in the Optimum team. So anything that you guys have to suggest, any feedback, please send it my way. I will relay that to the rest of the team and we'll build and grow together. Just wanted to give myself a short intro there. But I'm not the only new joiner here. We're also joined by Swana, our developer relations expert. I'd like to give you the floor to just do a short intro of yourself.
Hey, hi guys. G-Mom everyone. Myself Swarna. This is my first community call as well. And I've joined Optimum as a DevRel engineer, working with the team on all the development and giving you the best things to develop and build and get your feedbacks. There's so much to come, and really looking forward to work with you all and build cool stuff. And I'm based out of India, so looking forward for these calls and pretty more on these. So yeah, thanks Jeff for giving me the chance to intro. So yeah, looking forward.
No worries. Glad to have you as well, Swana. And of course, we are joined by our two co-founders, Muriel and Ken. We're going to be going over some amazing developments that have happened over the past month, or since the last community call at least. And I guess I'll give the floor to Kent to give us a recap on some of the big things that have happened.
Absolutely.
And
thank you.
Hey, real quick, do we want to get the slide deck going?
Yep.
Yes, please. All right. Thank you all again for joining this call. Is the slide deck up already? I can see August community call.
Yeah, it looks good. We can start scrolling through. I think we're on like slide 3. Yeah, right there.
Perfect. So the last community call happened around a quarter ago in May. In between, a lot has happened. We have gone to many conferences. We have published a lot of our content, from research to product to partner announcement and everything else. So we'll be covering some of that in the next couple minutes. Let's first start with our appearances at conferences. We went to Solana Accelerate a couple months ago. It was a great atmosphere. We met many folks from Solana team, as well as just ecosystems around Solana. Lots of exciting development in that area, and hoping to help accelerate Solana scaling as well going forward. And we're looking into that direction. We also have Muriel, who presented at Consensus 2025. On the main stage, we have we've shared some links. Maybe our team can share those links later in this community call chat as well, so that you guys, again, if you haven't had an opportunity, as well as Muriel, Eli, and I made it to ECC in France. It was a great weather, very warm, and we met a lot of our partners, investors down on the road. We organized 2 meetings, actually one event with our partner Everstake, which is one of the top 3 largest Ethereum validator. We also co-hosted an event with Ethereum Foundation at ETCC, which is really quite a special achievement because Ethereum Foundation has not organized a side event in the past 5 years. And since the leadership reorg earlier this year, they've decided to stay closer to the community. And we were excited to be their first partner in co-hosting a side event at ETCC really in the past 5 years. So that was really an achievement too. Lastly, but definitely not least, Muriel was presenting again at one of the major side conferences at ETCC at ETH Pragma on the main stage. And there are a couple other, workshops, technical workshops, and research conferences that we presented. We didn't even have a chance to put them all on this page. Otherwise, it will make this page too busy. But we've been updating those on our Twitter, so do keep an eye out and follow our Twitter to get those updates. After the conferences, let's then talk about the real meat, research. In particular, the last couple months, we have dug deep into 2 different aspects of the deep technology behind Optimum. One is the series of discussion on battles of the codes. As you know, network coding, and specifically random linear network coding, or short for RLNC, is at the core of Optimum. We are introducing this paradigm shift technology into blockchain world to make everything faster and cheaper while keeping everything decentralized and secure. And we have specifically made a comparison between different codes. And Muriel herself is a world-leading researcher in this aspect. So this is something that definitely would be a fun read if you are into technical. We have compared random linear network code versus Reed-Solomon code, which is commonly seen in many other blockchain projects, such as Solana and many data availability projects across Celestia, EigenLayer, and so on. And we've also compared that with Fountain code, which is used in Monad for RaptorCast, and proved that random linear network coding that we use is actually more superior, more efficient, faster, cheaper, and more robust than all these other codes across different aspects. Most importantly, it's actually speeding up, reducing latency at a scale that other codes cannot keep up, especially as the network grows larger, as the demand and the throughput grows larger. So you do feel free to check out those again. Chandler has just dropped the link to the article in the community call, so feel free to take a look. Lastly, on the research is the blockchain trilemma. We just published a couple days ago the article Unlocking the Blockchain Trilemma. Chandler, if you can, please also drop the corresponding X link on top of the mirror link in the community call chat. In there, we revisited the famous blockchain trilemma that Vitalik coined the term back in 2015. Well, the term was actually coined a little bit after, in 2018, so 3 years after Ethereum, was invented, and it stated a impossible trinity between decentralization, scalability, as well as security. However, we actually proved that it is a myth that you cannot get all 3 at the same time. We've seen over the years that some chains have chosen to optimize for 2 out of the 3 aspects. But the magic with Optimum is actually that you can get the most out of the 3, where you can leverage decentralization to get more scalability and leverage decentralization to make the chain more secure. So that is something that you guys are getting as alpha. We are preparing an article to talk about decentralized to scale, which is going to be a new paradigm that we unlock for every chain in this industry, not just Ethereum, not just Solana, but hopefully every blockchain start to adopt such architecture in order to really break free from this blockchain trilemma. So watch out for that article that we'll be publishing in the next couple weeks. A lot to discover on the research side, but nothing matches to our progress on the product and partner development. So in the last couple months, moving on to the next slides, there's also been a lot of development in our product development as well as our partner development. Firstly, we have launched our private testnet of our first product, Optimum P2P, around April to May. The first product, Optimum P2P, is a fast propagation protocol. Basically, it allows validators to send and receive data faster than they could ever have before. And it's a complement to any blockchain's networking stack. Ethereum has its networking stack, libp2p and devp2p, which it used to propagate blocks, blobs, and mempool. Solana has its networking stack called Turbine, which it used to propagate its blocks. And every other blockchain has a similar networking stack or P2P layer. They have different names, but it's really doing the same thing, how nodes talk to each other. Our first product, Optimum P2P, leverages random linear network coding and is the fastest networking stack of block propagation stack in the market right now. We are now live on private testnet. With our private testnet partners, we are testing it and showing amazing results. What you are seeing on the top left of the screen, I know it's very small, it's showing that at different throughput, how much faster we are compared to Ethereum's networking, which is the first chain that we intend to scale and support. And we're seeing some very interesting results where at lower throughput, we are about 2x faster than Ethereum's networking. And at higher throughputs, we are seeing over 20x faster gain compared to Ethereum's networking. So this will allow us to deliver some pretty substantial gain to our validator partners, which translates into APY gain. So this is a pretty, a breakthrough discovery because validators can now use Optimum P2P and be able to basically get faster in sending and receiving their data, and therefore getting higher APY and being able to potentially pass it down to the stakers that stake with them. So that's something that we're very exciting and testing out. Among our testnet partners, we have onboarded some of the largest validators in Ethereum. And you can see on the bottom left of the deck, Kiln, P2P, Everstake, Blockdaemon, Infstones, Luga Nodes, and eBunker. Each one of them has over $1 billion Ethereum ETH staked with them. I'm sure all of you have been tracking the crazy growth of Ethereum price in the last couple weeks. And so the amount of stake that we are seeing with our partners, I'm even losing track. It used to be something like 15 billion a couple weeks ago, but I now think it's worth over 20 billion. Especially some of them are among the largest Ethereum stake validators, such as Kiln. It's actually the largest Ethereum validator by stake. So we are very honored to be working with these great partners as our Wave 1 partners. And we are still recruiting more validator partners as we speak. There's been great progress over the past couple of weeks, and we're hoping to share more with you in the next community call. So just to recap, lots of appearances across conferences, made a lot of development across researches in various aspects, and the products has been developing well, shipping well, and testing well with our partners. With that, I'd like to turn it back to Jeff.
Thanks, Kent. Yeah, we've been up to quite a lot. Been a very busy team. It's been a very busy period. But yeah, a lot of positive things happening. Yeah, and if you have any questions for Kent on what he said and what he's talked us through, remember to use that Pigeonhole link and drop your questions there, and we'll get to it at the end of the call. Next up, Muriel, would you like to take us through what's coming up next?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff. And thanks, Kent, for going over all the exciting things we've been doing. Our roadmap really dovetails very closely to all the activities that we have been conducting. So let's start with our testnet onboarding and our Wave 1 partners. You already saw a list of our Wave 1 partners, and you saw that they're, really very impressive. And by the way, I'd like to say they've been just wonderful, very cooperative, really partners in the full sense of the term. And we've started now with our hoodie connection, so that we can really test, if you will, in the wild how Mom P2P works. And so that we can start also assessing what is the APY benefit that our partners can see. And as Kent said, that APY benefit is not just for validators, but it basically becomes a benefit to the entire ecosystem, with everybody being able to enjoy just cheaper, faster service. So currently we are in the Wave 2 partner onboarding, so right where that purple dot is. We've been really fortunate, had a huge amount of inbound interest, and so we've been able to just learn from all the good lessons for our Wave 1 partner onboarding, and now we're onboarding a larger set of partners. So I want to point something here with respect to the priority topics, the dynamic subscriptions. We remain very much decentralized. So basically, people are accessing non-P2P really through these topics. Kent already mentioned our work on the trilemma. For us, the decentralization is not just a philosophical stance. It's really the way that we are able to scale, is really the way that we're able to operate without having to gather a huge amount of information to a central controller. So it's our scaling, and it's our robustness, and it's our security. All of these are very much tied in together. I see that some of the folks are asking about the public testnet. So what we're starting to do is Optimum hacknets. And we'll have some announcements about that later. But really, the idea is to ask other communities, so you are a community, to participate in seeing what it's like to be a flex node, somebody who's helping in the propagation in Mom P2P, and to see the gains that you can get, and compare the gains that you have with Mom P2P versus without, and try to optimize that. So we'll be doing our first one in the Boston area, then we'll be doing a few other in-person ones in different geographies, and then we'll be opening it up online. So we'd love for a lot of the folks here to participate, give us feedback, and really become part of the project in a very tangible, very real, very hands-on way. That's basically, the next big thing that will be happening. We'll of course always continue iterating, improving, including with feedback from the community, from our partners. And we'll be going to operational flex nodes, where those flex nodes are basically what people will learn to do and set up in our hackathons, in our hacknets. and we'll be able to do that with all of the knowledge that you will have acquired, that we will have acquired through those hackathons. We then looking to go into mainnet. As Kent mentioned, we're starting with Ethereum. Because we scale any chain, we'll be going on to other chains. Our current plan is to also go to Solana. We're already in the works there. And we're also starting to work with some L1s who really want to have the benefits of Optimum kind of built into them, rather than just entirely permissionless the way we're going, for instance, with Ethereum. So that's our next step. So it all really ties in perfectly to the activities, to the research, and to all of the development we've been doing so far.
Nice.
So
Thanks, Muriel. Yeah, that was brilliant. I mean, it's exciting. Putting everything that has happened since the last community call and what we've got to look forward to. I just don't know how you can't be excited for what we have coming up next. And I'll be going over some more things that are coming up next soon. But I want to get to the questions that you guys have been asking. I'm seeing a lot of them coming through, so thank you to everybody who's pushed your questions through. And yeah, we'll get to it. So I'll go based on the one that I'm seeing first. What will the role system in Optimum look like? So this is probably a question for me. And I'm assuming this is regarding roles in the Discord server. So the way that I am planning things, and there will be an announcement about this on Friday, so keep an eye out. That was a bit of alpha there for you guys. But the way I'm seeing it is eventually down the line, we will have roles based on the types of contributions that people are making in the community. So that's kind of the approach. We want people who are able to create different types of content, perhaps break down complex and more technical content, that sort of thing, and break it down for the everyday person to be able to digest. And the roles will kind of align with this approach. And yeah, so they'll just align with the contributions in the community. Okay, let's see some of these other questions. So, as I can understand, so far in a few months, Optimum is a B2B product mostly. In that case, do you plan to do marketing targeting the end users and testers, or will you go for the institutional partners? Yeah, Muriel.
I'm happy to answer that. That's a great question. So for us, very much individuals. So as I mentioned, really people who have a desire to participate actively, positively, and in a way that rewards them fairly in the infrastructure of Web3. So the idea behind a Flex node is you're participating in this propagation as you can, whenever you can. You're being helpful, you're getting rewarded for that. So it's not the sort of commitment that you would have, say, with being a validator, which is a big commitment in terms of uptime, in terms of, capital expenditure to start out with all the, steady connections, steady power supply, and so on. Instead, the idea is that whatever you're able to provide, you can provide, and you're helping with RLNC to propagate equations created with RLNC. And these equations are helping the community. They might be helping, major L1s. They might be helping anything that's on Web3. And that's why we really believe in scaling any chain, and we're chain agnostic. So sure, some of it will be with, you'll be helping some more, established projects. Some of them will be new. And what we want to do is enable that and make sure that individuals like our community are getting fairly rewarded for that.
Nice. Exciting times. Let's see some of these other questions we have here. This is a good question. How does Optimum's technology differentiate itself from other L2 and modular blockchain solutions?
Otherwise, local computation in each individual nodes is no use, right? So it always come back to Optimum, always come back to Optimum.
Yeah, and if I just to add to what Ken said, it's a little bit like, if you were building together a computer, like I'm sure some of the people here have put together their own computer, and you had chosen, a fantastic CPU, and you're like really happy with it, and then you totally cheaped out on the memory and on the bus. And on top of that, you put some, Windows, whatever, really old operating system, and they're like, this is not working the way I wanted it to. You go, well, my memory's not so good, my bus is not so good, my software's not so good. Okay, so I have a great CPU, but what is it running? So this ability to just make use, and I just wanted to point back to our name. What we do is we make optimum use of the available resources. That's what we do. And anybody who brings resources to Optimum, no matter how limited, how intermittent, whatever you can do, we will be happy and make sure that you get some fair reward for it. That's really the philosophy. And it's by having that completely decentralized system that we're robust and high performance.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, because some people in the audience may have similar questions to me or be thinking along the same lines as me, so I'm going to give you my sort of view of what you guys have just said. So, Optimum essentially makes the best out of any sort of hardware or tool that it works with, essentially. But I did want to go back to what you were saying, Ken, about MEV extraction and things like that. Could you break down what MEV is for those in the audience who aren't familiar with it, and why it's important to, for it not to be extracted, for it to be protected, essentially?
Yeah, happy to do that briefly. So MEV stands for minimum extractable, maximum extractable value. And it is an important concept in blockchain order flow, right? As you all know, any transaction that you submit is essentially a order. And that order is very valuable, right? Because of the slippage that you have to set in order to get in a transaction. There are players in the background who can play to their advantage at the expense of the orders that you submitted. So we want to ensure that essentially these transactions can be fairly ordered and be fairly kind of distributed throughout, and get the validators to access them in a way that is fair to the ecosystem. And it is really important to use the technology to ensure that not just when we see more transactions coming in, the chain doesn't crash and the chain doesn't have its price jack up, but also have these transactions coming in and being ordered in a way that is fair and efficient.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to get through as many questions as I can, so I'm going to go to the next one. Okay, given RLNC's resilience to packet loss, how does Optimum P2P handle correlated losses or targeted jamming in validator-to-validator links without decoding overhead? I don't know what that question means, to be completely honest, so I'll leave it to the experts.
Great question. Maybe let me start by repeating the question in a little bit more general context. And obviously, whoever's asking this, you're definitely an expert. So what happens is, remember, what you do in coding is you're sending equations. And what can happen is, some of those equations might go missing. You talk about jamming, so that would be an attack, but it could just be that, you expected some node to be up, it's not up. Some stuff got delayed just because there's congestion, right? I mean, stuff happens, right? So the idea with the different equations is that all of the equations are pretty much interchangeable, right? Suppose I have like two unknowns, x and y. You could give me equation x plus y and equation 2x plus 3y. and I know how to solve those to get X and Y back. But you could have given me another equation like X was 5Y. That would also help me, right? So all of these equations are helpful. What's interesting is what we have shown, and I encourage you to go to our website, look at our publications exactly in this area, is that you would actually do worse if you tried to decode in the middle. This is not just optimum in an average sense, it's actually optimum in a worst case sense. That's to say that even if you have an attacker, what we often call a Byzantine attacker is trying to, get you. Even if you have an attacker who's like, bringing down links and, smashing nodes and, really making the maximum mess that they can, you could not do better than RLNC. Those results actually are not from me. They're from my former student, Bernhard Hoppler, who was my PhD student at MIT. He then went to become a faculty in computer science at Carnegie Mellon. But I think he has a paper called, RLNC Made Easy or something like that. And he showed that competitive advantage. So we are not just, optimum because we have some assumption about, the world being good to us. Even if the world's out to get you, you can't do better than us. So great question.
Great question. Although I didn't understand it, but great question. Let's see what other questions we got here. In Optimum strategy, what role does the community play in driving adoption and expanding the ecosystem? So this is a question for me. Yeah, the community is like the heartbeat of Optimum. Like you guys, when we want to shout about a new development, it's you guys that are going to be shouting on the rooftops with us. When we need to improve and just get better, you're the people who are going to tell us that we need to get better. You're going to tell us how we need to get better. You're going to help us test things. The community, this is a joint effort between the core team and the community. And some of the activities that you guys have been doing on social media, and I've seen a lot of you guys posting, creating content, writing threads. This is all brilliant. These are the things that are going to help us expand and build awareness to what we're working on here. So community is critical. And as I mentioned previously, like some of these concepts are pretty complex, and some of you guys will understand them better than myself. And I, as a community manager, will lean on you guys to help to break these things down. So whoever asked that previous question, I will be in touch with you very soon. I hope that answers your question. Cool. Let's see. We've got some time left, so I'll do one more, and then I'll talk about what we've got coming up next. Okay. If Optimum succeeds in becoming the memory layer of the world computer, how will you prevent it from simply becoming a new central point of control? I think it was briefly kind of covered by you, Kent, but if you'd like to address this one directly.
I'll start, and I'll let Muriel chime in because I know this is one of her favorite questions to discuss as well. So as I was hinting, Optimum decentralized to scale, and Muriel was also describing that decentralization is actually not a compromise that we have to take in order to get to scale, right? In order to scale, we decentralize. It completely changes the mental model to think about the blockchain trilemma, and it completely challenges the existing status quo of how blockchains are built. And the beauty really lies in the core of how network coding works and how we leverage network coding to build our product. So in other words, when Optimum becomes the memory layer for the world computer, we actually allow various parties, whether it's community members like you guys or validator partners, or just anyone to run these flex nodes that will basically together provision the service of the memory layer, right? So we will not be the controlling point. In other words, even if we are taken down, the memory layer will still run. Any single party that is taken down, the whole memory layer will still run, and that is the beauty. Mira, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yeah, I love this topic. So, just want to say I did not ask somebody to ask this question, but if I had asked somebody to ask the question, I would have asked this question to be asked. This is the whole part of being decentralized, and this also gets back to the point that somebody asked before, and that Jeffrey so well answered about, what is the community? We are not controlling the nodes. We're not controlling the flex nodes. So it's the flex nodes that are doing the work. We're providing the engine to allow those flex nodes to do their job. And it's decentralized by choice. It's decentralized because that's the only way to scale. We're not gathering information about what the different nodes are doing. That's just not what we do. Not just because we don't want to. I don't want to, but if we wanted to, literally, that would be crashing the entire network, trying to gather information that gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the network grows. So, you can't have centralization and have true scaling. So it's not a centralized system. It's decentralized, not just philosophically, but just because that's the only thing that will scale. It's, to me, it's like gravity. I have to live with gravity. Maybe some days I like it, maybe some days I don't, but it's there. It doesn't care whether I like it or not. And I cannot create a scaled system that is centralized. It just, you can't do it.
Hope that answers your question. That is the last of the questions, but don't worry. I'm always here to relay questions that you guys have to the team. So please feel free to tag me in the general channel, and I'll reach back out to the team. So yeah, what have we got coming up next in the Optimum community? So we have a hackathon in Boston. It's an in-person hackathon, so participation will be limited. But this is just the beginning. We will be doing more hackathons and things like that. Potentially some online digital hackathons for you guys to take part in, if that's your sort of thing. And so stay tuned for announcements regarding that. We have some speaking opportunities and conferences that are coming up. The team will be at Korea Blockchain Week and Token 2049, which is a massive, massive event in the Web3 space. So exciting times. That will be happening at the end of September/October. So yeah, look out for us there. If any of you are there, look out for the team. Come and have a conversation, grab a coffee, that sort of thing. And we have some exciting community campaigns coming up. I did leak some alpha about an announcement on Friday, so keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to say any more. And there will be more than just that. So if that is something that's not for you to take part in, don't worry. There'll be something coming shortly after, and there will be more. And it's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be fun. And I'm really excited to roll these things out for you guys. So yeah, can't wait. But yeah, I think we've come to the end of this community call. It's been super fun. I want to leave the floor open for anyone who has any final words for the community.
I just want to say it's been amazing support from you guys. Please keep it up. We really can't grow without you. Look forward to sharing more progress with you guys in our next community call.
I echo that sentiment. So yeah, we will have another community call soon, and we will be doing more calls. You'll be seeing my face a lot, and so yeah, you will be hearing from me quite a lot, guys. So we'll speak soon, and take care of yourselves.
Yep, Jeff is your guy. Thank you, all the moderators who is doing their great job behind the scenes, and thank you guys for chiming again, and thanks to the team for organizing this.
And thank you for joining, everyone. Yeah.
Great talking to you
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Appreciate all the thoughts.